I don't know much about my mother's side of my family, beyond her mother's first name and that her father was one half Native American. I'm not sure from which tribe. But on my father's side, I am about 3/4 of the way Nigerian. So during a conversation regarding diversity, culture, and inclusion, when asked what was my African/Native American experience, I replied, not unlike millions, of men resembling me who daily march through these streets, only briefly stopping to watch all these atrocities. Possibly until the day comes when, even for us, black bodies being left to die by the wayside become just another speed bump on the road of life. Because right now, being a black man in America is akin only to the feeling being lost in the wilderness can give. To have all angles exposed to the elements creates a culture where survival is the only thing relevant. So as it applies to the topics of diversity, culture, and inclusion, I've become somewhat disillusioned because certain facts have yet to be proven true. Like when y'all say liberty and justice for all, do you just mean all of y'all that share the same hue? Or like all of y'all and you might sprinkle in a few? Or like all of y'all are tripping? We pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps. We don't understand, why can't you? America, the delegation from the ghetto would like you to know that for us, there's nothing diverse about the collective belief that the very ground you walk on is cursed when you feel like your whole life has not only been scripted, but also shot and rehearsed time and time again and seen. Black boy conceived, born, and abandoned in the hood. Black boy carries generations of trauma he doesn't understand, so of course he's misunderstood. Black boy is then labeled, tracked, and expedited through the school system, making his own living conditions worse. Black boy was 19 first time he left his neighborhood. He was chauffeured out in a hearse. And still I wonder if his route was the easy way out, cause I don't know what's after life, but before death seems always to be only a few steps away, cause to have to live day after day after day being viewed as either super predator or prey is exhausting. And sometimes the dream of living in a world where that ain't the case seems more like a tailor-made coffin, carved from the bark off of the tree of misery and woe. But save some of that wood, cause from them limbs is where strange fruits still grow. And you know they say a nigga, nah, I'm in a strange fruit. Nah, I'm in a nigga. Gonna go whichever way the wind blows, unless that wind blows him in the direction towards home, cause home has become a war zone, and my better half has taken up a path that has her fists clenched, elbows arched up at me, like somehow an indigenous man benefited from this country's patriarchy. And they used to buck break us. So tell me exactly what made us hate us. That lynch letter, it was perverse, but it worked. Some of our women now say they hate niggas, but joke about being the new niggas with money. But ain't that just self-hate in reverse? Mookie absolutely did the right thing when he asked Pino who were his go-to people when he wanted to be entertained, and everyone he named just happened to be a so-called nigga. Framing the image on the picture that says, unless he can run, jump, or sing, everyone hates a nigga. But in fact, we are not that. We are your fathers, uncles, brothers, nephews, cousins, and sons. I need you to be very clear. We are not the dysfunctional monsters they like to try to make us out to appear. We've just been conditioned to exist in a system where diversity can be seen as divisive, inclusion still eludes us, and the environment we are raised in has a culture of fear. Thank you. Thank you. I go by the name of Poet One Deep. My given name is Patrick Harris, and what I've learned through my years, matter of fact, let me pause on that. This month, February, actually marks my 5-year anniversary as being a performing spoken word artist in the community, and so I've just been celebrating. This is part of that celebration. What I've learned so far throughout my journey is Poet One Deep is the creative expression of Patrick Harris. And so I'm finding a lot of joy and the self-discovery of myself in that way. I don't want you to be fooled by the fatigues that I have on. What you're looking at right now is a black man who is very much tired of fighting. I feel like I've been fighting my entire life, fighting myself, fighting other people, fighting whatever. And I reached a point over the last couple of years where I realized that, and I wanted so much to heal myself and heal my community because I love my people. I love all people, but specifically I love my people because I see the images that are highlighting the wrong things about us. I see the things that we are doing that are creating the images, so I understand the ownership part. I very much, through my art, want to be able to do my part to heal my community. And I felt like the first place that I could start at was trying to extend an olive branch to our most precious resource, which is our Black women. And so, my pleasure. And so, I wrote a letter in the form of a poem to Black women, and it's entitled Sincerely a Black Man. So I hope you enjoy this. Dear Black woman, you once told me that you are the most unprotected person on God's green earth. And initially, that conflicted with the so-called G in me, but that was only because it was the truth. And sometimes, well, the truth does hurt. Now I'm sorry. Sorry that after years of me misbehaving, you no longer recognize the space in between my outstretched arms as a safe haven, but instead a hollow, crumbling cavern with a weak foundation from which you have made a hasty getaway because any day now you are awaiting a cave-in. And in turn, what was once a love that always smelled fresh and stayed wet enough to bathe in has become a barren desert to me, and frustration is your new favorite fragrance. And sometimes I wonder if you run out of patience with me, seeking the wrong kind of validation and placating to all of the wrong kind of people in all of the wrong kind of places while playing you to the left. I forgot what was right for me had always been adjacent the whole damn time. I apologize. And I think I die a little bit each time that you show me a sign that perhaps you've had enough of my shit. And if ownership is the key to killing my toxic energy, then allow me to concede that I do now believe that some of my OGs lied to me because they said you couldn't be trusted and that you was just a hoe in a trick. They said just focus on the dollar sign and never stop to wonder why they called you a bitch. And I went along with it. And I called you a bitch out of one half stupidity and the other half ignorance. But please try to see that as a youth, higher learning for me came from a university where the halls were lined with marijuana trees and the roads surrounding campus were paved in bricked up coca leaves. And there, among other things, I learned how to make squares out of circles. And you swear you didn't want a hood dude, but you gotta admit back then you were not checking for Urkel. You went through your bad boy stage and I got on my bad boy shit and just stayed. Long enough to inherit regressive groupthink, a job that pays a low wage and a lust for material things. And I now see the error in those ways, and I pray that I'm forgiven for years of hard living, abandoned children, infidelities, misdemeanors, felonies, and long trips to prison. And for not being around to help you fix your crown when the mother folks tried to knock it down and label you as angry. They tried to make you a persona non grata, and I was wrong for forcing you to have to be strong on your own, but I still give thanks because somewhere buried deep off in your chromosomes, God placed a whole lot of asada. But tell me something, what about us? I mean, is there some other way that we can talk, perhaps somewhere that we can meet? I'll commit to start trying and quit lying, and again, I am sorry that I keep dying out here in these streets. And for being the one to pull that trigger, and for not having a vision for us that was bigger, and for asking you to choose between having a good man and settling for me just being your nigga. That was in the past, and I want to be here for you now, so if there's a chance, just tell me where or when, because all facts and no cap. I get jelly when you lend an ear to other men, especially when, as of late, some of them have been void of any melanin. At any rate, I pray it's not too late. And I leave our fate in God's hands. I hope this reaches you in love, light, peace, and prosperity. Sincerely signed, a Black man. Thank you. Thank you. So, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I felt like if we can mend the fence and build a bridge back towards our women, we can work on healing the other things that plague our community. And in light of this, this happened around the same time as the unrest that accompanied the entire year of 2020, but specifically that summer. I think we maybe had gotten to the point where we became desensitized to police violence towards men and women in our community. We had a string of events that led into that summer of that year, if you can remember, where we had Breonna Taylor, we had Ahmaud Arbery, and then we had George Floyd. And it got to the point, to this day, I've never been able to look at the video of what happened to George Floyd, nor the video of Ahmaud Arbery, for that matter. It inspired a different kind of anger in me. And I don't think I've ever felt like that before, where you're just so mad and you have no idea what to do. I wound up writing a poem for it, and I had the opportunity to perform this piece on the steps of Orlando City Hall on June 6, 2020, in front of about 10,000 close friends and family. You was there for that one. My man was there for that one. And so this piece is entitled No More. It's actually inspired by a former politician / activist by the name of Ernie Chambers, I believe from Nebraska. As things were unraveling that year, you started to see a lot of clips from years and decades past start to circulate on social media. And ironically enough, he worked as a barber, as I do by profession, and he was doing an interview. I'm not sure if he was being interviewed by a preacher or whatever, but Ernie didn't hold back on him. And he told him where we were from his perspective as a people at that point and what we weren't going to tolerate any more of. And so that inspired this piece. It's called No More, and I hope you enjoy it. Dear America, I can breathe. And for as long as there's breath in my lungs, you gonna hear the echo of my words, same way you want me to fear the echo of your gun. Trigger, squeeze, with palpable tension. See, I'ma spit my truth and we gonna get down to the root, you dig? And no, this ain't no Pulp Fiction. This is realism. And I refuse to be a victim. Matter of fact, this scripture's a benediction. Better yet, it's a line in the sand, a middle finger to systemic racism, genocidal tendencies, and COINTEL programs. See, I know what I am, a black man. And you will not erase my existence, minimize this resistance, or counter my intelligence with your own malignant ignorance. See me? I'm a descendant of men of great stature. You're a descendant of men who were slave catchers. So you all right about one thing. No, we are not the same. And I'm aware that somewhere within your infinite lack of wisdom, you have declared urban warfare, but this time you and God are not aligned, so you're gonna have to pay for your war crimes. Meanwhile, my war cry won't be euthanized or eulogized, because they say black girls are magic, so that means black men will never die. Even if I should reach my demise as a victim of proximity homicide or targeted by the FBI for telling my people get organized, still I rise. And you will not cover my grave with the same soil you used to do dirt with for over 400 years. Lord, I already done lost too many peers. God, I already done shed too many tears. Those are facts. So excuse me if I don't believe what I see when I see your troops taking a knee like Cap. Because it looked to me like Cap. And I can't tell if they getting down for the cause or to get a better bead on how to peel my cap. No more hashtags and videotape lynchings. No more I can't breathe still. No more suburban Ken and Karens trying to manifest the next Emmett Till. No more looking down at your boots. No more hangman's noose. No more pacifying my rage with some type of lame-ass excuse for murder. Unless we choose another Tuesday to do it, this revolution will be televised, unmuted, live and in living color, negro for show, in lockstep marching through your neighborhood, about to bring it straight to your front door. So, when I pull up, please don't open fire if you see me with two raised hands. I just came to get everything my ancestors died fighting for. Sincerely signed, a black man. Thank you. So I'm feeling good about my journey, right? It's like, okay, I'm recognizing these things within myself that I want to heal. I'm recognizing these things in the community that I want to actively be a part of healing. I've extended the olive branch to our women. I've advocated for our men. I'm feeling good about myself. And then I wasn't feeling so good. This is a difficult piece that I'm about to do because it totally contradicts the good works that I was doing, and it made me second guess myself. So this is an active, ongoing situation. The poem is entitled 321-355-6841, also known as Fighting Words. Quote from Dr. Dre: "How would you feel if niggas wanted you killed?" On June 6, 2020, on the steps of Orlando City Hall in front of 10,000 sets of eyes focused, I focused and delivered what was at that time my magnum opus. Risking life and limb and in the grips of a pandemic, I shouted no more to white supremacy, cause see, collectively we have reached our damn limit with the killing of unarmed people resembling you and me by officers acting with impunity. Side note, you missed the vibe if you wasn't there. I still get chills from all the unity. As part of a movement that included 16 countries across the globe and all 50 states, we took to the streets to shout down the beast and once and for all emphatically state that all lives can't matter to my Black Lives Matters. The message couldn't have been sent any clearer. But in a cruel twist of irony, the beast I was shouting down somehow started to resemble the man in the mirror. On February 11, 2021, just 8 short months after getting airman high from giving chairman vibes, spitting views deemed as newsworthy, I received an anonymous message from somebody talking reckless, saying, among other things, and I quote, "I've been wanting to off your ass and get bulletproof, nigga," and that he was coming to murk me. Damn. How would you feel if niggas wanted you killed? Because me, my emotions reside somewhere in between fuck out of here, nigga, please, and repenting. Down on my knees like, Lord, please don't forsake me, because I ain't quite ready to leave. Yeah, I admit it, I've been conflicted, because it's something about things going left make you want to do right. Something about slipping in the darkness make you want to reach for the light. And if pride is the devil, he must be the DJ on site, because he trying to entice me and this man to come out to the street and dance up under the pale moonlight. And so now the soundtrack to my real life is beginning to give feels like that Phil Collins. I can feel it coming in the air tonight, and I swear I've had my fill of feeling like something's coming in the air tonight, because I feel like this almost every night. Because this man just threatened my life. Picture me going out without a fight and then imagine it's like, you got all these aspirations and dreams you ain't scratched off your list yet. So you've been putting in mad work out here on the scene, just now starting to see a little bit of respect. And then along comes a hater who confuses a spark with a fire. He cyber stalks you to size you, gets a look deep inside you, sees the Messiah and forms a Judas complex. Well, hell, I guess if it's real after this, that means the shooters come next. Either way, real or fake, y'all about to look at me like, damn, I didn't know this how you was gonna flex. Cause you get to watch me turn him coming after me into alchemy, magic trick. I ain't swiped nobody money. I wonder if I used to pipe this nigga honey. Magic stick. But on the flip, allow me to play devil's advocate and add that we can't ignore the fact that the government has been known to actively recruit and brainwash young thugs to use as tools to attack activists with. Y'all do know that's really been happening. Tragic shit. So I theorized that if home is where the hatred is, his mind must be where the madness sits, cause this man really do got me fucked up. But still, how would you feel if niggas wanted you killed? Has there ever been a realer quote? I mean, we went from me having vivid visions being brought into full view by that text message and thoughts that question provoked to having y'all glued to y'all seats up in the audience getting blowed off some of the realest shit I ever wrote. And all this cause some fuckboy has the gall to pray and pray for my downfall. Pray and pray for my downfall. Pray and pray for my downfall? Damn. Nigga really want to hit me? Picture me juxtaposed in between being 10-toed down for my folk and having one of my own trying to come get me. Sister having dreams I caught a slug and she don't even know about the text message this man sent me. It's safe to say it's getting weird in the land of fake love. I've been just trying to see my way clear. Got me looking up to God like it's your will anyway. Please, by all means, why don't you go ahead and steer? And before it's my time to go, I want it known that I ain't spit poems, I spit my ancestors' tears. But before all that, tell 321-355-6841. I've been out here waiting. And if you're really looking for me, you can find me right here. Thank you. Yeah, so that pretty much sucked to have to to have to deal with actively. But there's beauty in the alchemy of turning something like that into art, and it's therapeutic, and that's also a lot of what my work is about. I didn't allow that, and I'm proud of myself. I didn't allow that to stop me from wanting to advocate for my people. I didn't let it stop me from loving my people. It actually encouraged me to even pray for whoever that fool was that started all this commotion. I believe that we will get our act together. Do I believe it's an overnight thing? No. But I believe the seeds for that get planted in spaces like this, in times like this, in moments like this, with art that we create like this. And so I want to leave you guys with a poem that I wrote, and it's for the dreamers, it's for the downtrodden, it's for the people that are ready to rise up out of their circumstances. And this piece is called Uprising, so I hope you enjoy it. They say, fall down 7 times, rise up 8. But is the destination void if the arrival time is late? Here, dreams don't get deferred just because the road deters from straight to winding curves with twists and turns. Fear can't occupy the space where faith lives, because faith gives us strength to rise up like Phoenix do from ashes, like Black Fist in the summertime. Yes, the power is in the masses. Here, not enough for a half a cup, just depends which way your glass is. Focus, just like the motivation and inspiration that your past gives. To remain dormant or let the pain form it, a new creation. Here, battle scars be worn as trophies. So I dedicate this to my reflection, and so together you all can quote me. I will rise up. My circumstances and environment will no longer define me. I know forward is my direction, and in my essence is where you'll find me. I will rise up after the darkest nights when things seem to be the hardest. I know my dreams have not been buried, they've been planted. I understand seed time and harvest. At the appointed time when the sun shines is light in your direction. What will arise could be a blessing, but be careful what you're manifesting. Same God you prayed to watches how you move with what he gave you. The true gift is in the giving. I believe God looked at me and said, I'm going to place the gift of words within them. Give them a one-way ticket down a road that's less traveled. Make it hard for them to walk it like bare feet across hot gravel. Give him reminders along the way that I'm here when his faith starts to get rattled. So I no longer wonder as I see signs and wonders as I wonder. I no longer wonder why. I know I had to. Set fire to my ego so my soul could rise up from the embers, to be a vessel used by him and deliver a message you all remember. I will rise up. I will rise up. I will rise up. I will rise. Thank you.
This project was made possible by our season sponsors, Orange County, United Arts, the state of Florida, and ACS. Our wonderful board members, among whom are Mary Solik and Jason Schaller. We thank our donors and members, as well as our business sponsors. Please thank them for their support for Timucua.